Chichicastenango is a town caught between the modern and the traditional. The majority of the 90,000 residents are Mayan. Many of them still dress in their traditional garb and speak the indigenous dialect as their first language. Hector Tecum is a local radio reporter in Chichicastenango. Like many journalists in rural areas of Latin America, he's had a tough time finding a sustainable income doing journalism. After his training through the International Center for Journalists' New Media Initiative for Community Radio, Hector began to get creative. He set up the first online news site to publish local news in Chichi. And with the help of ICFJ trainer Jesse Hardman, he began to train college kids to help him put together a local radio show. Through ICFJ's program, funded by the McCormick Foundation, Hardman and Tecum trained 20 local students on radio basics. The result was not only a new radio show, but a slew of budding new journalists. Carlos Gregorio Sen Pol is the manager for Swan Tinamit, the radio station that hosts Hector's new show.
We want the youth to be involved because they can investigate what's happening in their communities. And this information we can share with everyone. Journalism in this region is really closed. If we open the door to the youth, they can contribute not only in Spanish, but also in our maternal language, Quiche.
About 5 hours north of Chichicastenango, Radio Encarnacion is fighting its own battle to keep the local population of tiny Aguacatan informed. This town near the Mexican border hosts 4 different Mayan communities, each with its own dialect. Father Jose David Lopez set up Radio Encarnacion over a year ago. His goal was to use radio to help educate the local population and spread a message of peace after a decade of political violence in Aguacatan.
The radio generates power, access, and lots of possibility for the people who want to help in the development of the community.
ICFJ trainer Jesse Hardman spent a week with Father David and helped recruit and train a group of 10 local residents to help develop new programming. The participants ranged from shopkeepers to teachers to nuns.
In reference to the training, it's what we were lacking. We were doing radio in a very experiential way. The training has awakened an enthusiasm for radio.
The group learned journalism techniques, how to do research using the internet, and how to digitally record audio. They also developed 3 new programs for the station, with themes related to health, women's issues, and migration. If Father David ever could dream up a modern radio station for his community, it would probably look a lot like the system run by the University of Guadalajara. The 8-station network features all the latest equipment, and reporters are well-versed in new media tools and techniques. ICFJ trainer Jesse Hardman convened reporters from each station to Colotlan, a small town in the north of the state. He sent them outside with their digital recorders to investigate the town and see what the most important local issues were. Hardman noticed that despite having the latest equipment, many participants had forgotten some of the basics. Candice Carrasco participated in the workshop.
We forget to spend time and converse with local people, share what they feel and what they want. That's so important on the radio.
As part of the training, Carrasco and her cohort digitally produced radio stories about local issues and also blogged about their experience. Carrasco says what stood out in the stories were the strong local voices, elements she says are often missing in her radio network's programming.
As journalists, we can be really egocentric and we think our voice is more important. But it's important to remember that the voice of the people is more important.
In Hugo Chavez's Venezuela, some media are concerned these days with censorship after a number of radio stations were closed down by the government. But on Trujillo's 102.5, talk show host Maria Fonseca is doing her best to keep people informed. She covers local topics on her live broadcasts, hoping to engage listeners. She's noticed in the past few years people have been more nervous to open up and talk. ICFJ trainer Jesse Hardman paid Fonseca a visit, and together they set up a public event in Trujillo's Plaza. With some tables, chairs, and digital recorders provided by the McCormick Foundation, they set up a public recording booth. Relatos de Trujillo gave locals an opportunity to share their experiences and stories. In Ecuador, members of the Corape network traveled to Quito for a 2-day new media workshop. They practiced blogging, using digital recorders, and developed new coverage plans that incorporated these tools. Angel Criollo has been with Corape for a year, organizing Quechua language programming for indigenous stations around the country.
We need to start exploring beyond email and online chat. This workshop helped us to start exploring the potential of virtual spaces and new media tools to reach our audiences.
Jessie Martinez reports for Corape, and she says the network has been trying to fulfill its mandate better of creating a community voice. As part of the ICFJ program, she received digital equipment she says will help Corape reach out. One of the recorders will travel to the more than 30 Corape affiliate stations.
We need to be able to transmit different themes and ideas from across the country. What a young person in the South thinks, what a student in the coastal region thinks. We need to transmit all the voices in the country and create a healthy debate.
Community radio continues to be the most effective way to reach people in Latin America. Thanks to ICFJ and the McCormick Foundation's efforts, community radio stations in Latin America will not only keep making great radio, but be equipped to use new media tools and platforms to do their important work even better.